More moves are coming for the Boston Bruins as the one that we all expected to happen with John Beecher has officially been confirmed. But with the injury update with Charlie McAvoy as well as many other players on this current Boston Bruins team, more moves are set to be made ahead of the road trip. We're going to be breaking it down as well as going over yesterday's game with a very special lineup that we saw. We're going to touch on everything here today, ladies and gentlemen. Before we do jump into it, though, I ask you one favor, and that's if you haven't already, be sure to hit the sub button. Join me here on the channel. We have a lot of Bruins news to cover as these guys are still shocking everybody with being first place in the Atlantic Division and being one of the best teams in the NHL. And Marco Sturm is going to keep them there, so more things are going to happen. But we need to get straight into this because, as I mentioned, John Beecher yesterday was placed on waivers. I mentioned at the end of the video that there is a near 100%, if not fully 100% chance that he would be claimed off waivers. My prediction was wrong about the team, but he was indeed claimed by the Calgary Flames. They had the first opportunity to get him, and they did indeed claim him. We knew the Flames were looking to make some moves. There's been links between the Bruins and Flames with a whole bunch of trade scenarios, but this is the one that officially happened. Calgary have claimed John Beecher, leaving not just the Bruins with a hole now as a kind of 13th forward, but it also causes a bit of a predicament when it comes to who will be in the next up mentality. Now, there are a lot of worse problems the Bruins could be in. Let's be honest. We know that having John Beecher gone, he was given his opportunity. There was questions whether or not he would even be re-signed from this offseason, but the Bruins gave him one more chance, and ultimately he was not able to make that into a career, I guess, with the Bruins for a longer tenure. But where this currently stands for the Bruins offense really puts us in an interesting spot, because when we look here right now, Riley Tufte, Matej Blumel, both call-ups from this most recent game for the Bruins yesterday, were in the lineup. When you had a guy like John Beecher, of course, who did have a few injury struggles so far in his career, but was for the most part someone who was a bottom six player, was someone who could jump into a lineup and really put him wherever you wanted to, not as a consistent spot, but going into this now, this really shows the Bruins lost trust in him and have trust in a few more players. And I feel like having Alex Steeves, Matej Blumel, Riley Tufte, all in this lineup, two of which on the second line, made that decision possible for Don Sweeney. So we are officially out of the John Beecher tenure with the Boston Bruins. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on in the comments below here on that move. But more importantly, when we're looking at the lineup that we're seeing right now, last game wasn't necessarily the best for the Boston Bruins, but yeah, and as we've seen throughout nearly every loss this season, there is a lot of positive to take away from it. And going and looking at the stat card, very tough to find some positives here in this game when you're really only having, 5 players that are around the 1 average on whether it is team offense or team defense, individual defense, that are above 1. And, of course, this really doesn't show too much of what we saw on the ice all the time, but this did. It was not a great game from the guys you needed to have good games, but one positive sign, like the one I mentioned, you see Riley Tufte, you see Alex Steeves, you see Matej Blumel, be a little bit higher on this chart. Even though on the offense they didn't really excel necessarily, they didn't really disappoint on the defense either, which in this game was a good sign. Now, another good thing that we've seen all season is that this team is not afraid to let us know when they're not feeling that they're playing great. And they did that exactly this game. Going into Elias Lindholm's quote here, he says, "We got to find ways to get out there every night. We're playing in front of our fans at home here, so we got to find a way to come out with a little more jump." And I do feel like that was pretty evident when we did see Zadorov yelling at the team saying, hey, we got to get this going. As once again, and I'll say it every game this year, Zadorov has taken a major leap in his his entire mindset with this team, his entire leadership kind of core with this team. He has increased everything, and I feel like that stemmed from this offseason when he said he was watching the 2013 team go out here, try to take what that team had and bring it to this Bruins team, and it's worked so far. You see a different mentality here, so a loss like this is something that I'm not mad at whatsoever, and especially when you're dealing with these types of injuries. McAvoy injury, having a whole bunch of situations on this team that, you're not having your top guys, and I mean, going back to take a look at the Lions, you're seeing exactly that. You're seeing this team be able to hold a game even when you're not necessarily playing the greatest. A 3-1 loss could be way worse if it weren't for the defense, the offense still holding it down when they needed to, and the goaltending as well for this team, all being a reliable part. But once again, Marco Sturm has been a big part of this, and he also did speak out about this game and really called out the Bruins a little bit and saying, a game like today, I feel like some other guys have to step up. You can't always go and look at number 88, 91, and 27. You can't look at this. You need other guys as a step up as well. And I think that was a little bit of what they were missing today. And of course, that was last night. But he's exactly right. You need your top guys to be there, but you cannot fall back on them every single game. You need everybody to step up. And when looking at this, kind of sums it up where you didn't have everybody going. You couldn't get the spark you needed from your guys, but that's okay. You take that, you learn from that, and like I said, for the remainder of the month, you have some games that you should win, you need to win, and that you can take a lot away from. But with that road trip coming, we do have some injury updates. And this one here from Mark Diver with Charlie McAvoy. The injury, it appears inevitable. The Bruins will grab a defenseman from Providence to take on the road trip. All defensemen were in the Providence practice this morning, but that does not mean that, as you see Mark Diver here, doesn't mean one of them is barreling up the I-95 right now to catch a flight to California as they go and play the Ducks tomorrow night. But that right now has still not happened. We have not just yet seen a move by this Bruins team, but it wouldn't surprise me with McAvoy being out, with that right side of the defense, which I mentioned yesterday was a little bit, not the greatest, but it is something that they can go without, but it would not surprise me, as you see Mark Diver here say, if they do go out and grab one from Providence. But with that as well, another update that Elias Lindholm will travel with the team out west, which is a very positive sign to get your number one center back. There has been some positive signs since Elias Lindholm was out injured with this lineup, but from what we've seen from him this season, we need him back. We want him back, and it'll get this team going once again, shaping up the offense to what it was when they were at their prime this season. I feel like they're still in it, but the injuries has been plaguing the Boston Bruins here so far in this season. So once all of this is cleared up, will once again be a very positive sign. And with everything going, you're looking at the defense here in Providence. There are a few guys that could make a surprising jump, and whether that is Billy Sweezy or Frederick Burnett, both of these guys leading the the points on the defense in Providence, I still think the best bet will be Michael Callahan. Even though 2 points, 12 games, they're not looking for your defense to go out here and score. They want to get as much defense as possible. You bring some offense, that's fine too, but you want to make sure that you're getting someone that can hold down a spot that Charlie McAvoy had, and it's not an easy thing to do. So as long as they can get some defense, I think that will suffice until Charlie McAvoy does come back. We still don't know just yet the extent or how long he will be out, but I think the fact that we haven't heard anything that is negative is a good thing, especially for the long run for Charlie McAvoy. So once again, hope he's good, hope everything is okay. And one more thing I did want to point out as to why the defense is so important is when you look right now at the standings in the Atlantic Division, the Bruins are the only team that has a positive goal differential. Well, I guess it's even at this point right now. It was positive before last game. But it just goes to show how important now, especially defense and goaltending is. So I think that's another reason as to why it's a better chance we see Michael Callahan. So let me know about everything that we have here in today's video. First of all, what you think about John Beecher. Second of all, what you think about the more moves that are coming, especially on the kind of defensive side of things here. But that is all I have in this one. If you did enjoy, Give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out though. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.